What's happening, people? Back with another reaction, back with another Shep Pettibone remix. Thank you, as always, to Izzy for providing these remixes and much else, as well as a lot of information and background for me about Shep and his working with a number of artists that I've already been deep diving on, maybe most notably Madonna. In any case, we're going to listen to Shep's remix of Belinda Carlisle's Heaven is a Place on Earth, which I reacted to the original of that not too long ago, and the plan had been to react to it in conjunction with this remix, but my brain doesn't always remember things well, so we're back to do it now. And it's called the Heavenly version, obviously just playing off of the theme and the title of the track. I do wonder what sonic changes he'll bring, whether some of the features I've come to know from the admittedly still small group of remixes I've heard from him will feature prominently in this tune. I don't think my parallel structure worked there, but you get the point. So yeah, let's give it a listen, and given that I talked a lot about the title and the lyrics as I caught them in the original reaction, I won't take a lot of time doing that now, but here we go. This is Belinda Carlisle and her Heaven is a Place on Earth song, the Shep Pettibone remix, which, as I said, is called the Heavenly version. interesting it still fades, because it was really breaking it down like the end of a dance track. Now it's interesting, like, it was a more dance-oriented tune than the original, but less so than some of his other remixes I've heard relative to the originals. So yeah, it feels like this is more enhancing the pop tune rather than really making it into a notable, like, 12-inch mix type of track. That being said, there are those shuffling claps which pervade the tune and strike me as the kind of thing that I've come to be familiar with his remixes, and maybe, 12-inch or extended mixes more broadly from this era. But yeah, it feels like in the other respects, it's, the Sonics are perhaps a bit bigger in some places and slightly more dance-like in the configuration, but as I said, maybe less so than some of the other remixes I've heard from him. And ultimately, I enjoy this version of the song. I mean, I'd probably enjoy any version of this song, but yeah, I definitely like what he did with it. It feels like it maybe wasn't quite as long as, because some of the ones that we've listened to are like 8 minutes long. Yeah, it's actually under 6, just barely, but under 6. I would have guessed like 6.5 or so, but yeah, so I mean, that, I suppose, is another indication that it's closer to the original in terms of duration in this case than some of his other remixes where they're really extending the, pop tune that might be 3.5, 4.5 minutes long. So, yeah, I absolutely enjoyed this one. And again, there's some elements, like, again, maybe most notably the claps, and then some of the keyboard work felt like maybe there was an enhancement of it, or maybe the mixing of it in the larger sonic mix was different. But yeah, ultimately it felt less clearly dance floor 12-inch mix relative to some of the other stuff I've heard from him. So either way, I enjoyed it. Shout out once again to Izzy. In the moment, I'm forgetting what other remixes I already have, and I'm sure there's more beyond that, so we'll look forward to more from Shep. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.